Hi guys, welcome to Storytime. Today is fairy tale day and I love talking about fairy tales and reading fairy tales. A fairy tale is usually a kid's story and it's usually fairly short. It almost always involves an element of magic. For example, a lot of these fairy tales that are here on the table today, the animals talk to each other, and you know animals don't really talk in real life, so that's kind of a little magical element sprinkled in, and I think that's what I love so much about fairy tales. So do you guys remember a fairy tale called Goldilocks and the Three Bears? So Goldilocks and the Three Bears is about a bear family, the papa bear, the mama bear, and the baby bear, and they live in the woods in this little cabin, and they decide to go for a walk one day, and then along comes this little girl named Goldilocks, and she sneaks in to the bear's cabin while they're gone, and she sits in their chairs, and she eats their porridge, and she sleeps in their beds, and she says things like, "This porridge is too hot," and "this chair is too soft," and towards the end she finally goes to sleep in one of their beds, and the bears return back to the cabin and they all freak out, and Goldilocks goes running off into the woods, and it's kind of funny story. And so today we're going to read a story kind of similar to that but a little bit different, called Goldilocks and Just One Bear by Lee Hodgkinson. Goldilocks and Just One Bear. Once upon a time, there was this bear, and one minute he was strolling in the woods, all happy-go-lucky, and the next minute he didn't have a crumb of a clue where he was. He was one completely lost bear. The bear didn't much like this place. Too many bright lights and not enough twigs. Too much loud honking and beeping, and not nearly enough owl hooting. The bear was also a teeny bit scared, and his furry legs were slightly wobbly. "Maybe the thing to do," said the bear, looking around, "is to pop into Snooty Towers and get away from this terrible racket." So they're not in the woods, they're in a city, and Snooty Towers, I think, is an apartment building. So it's very, very different than the woods and the forest, what he's used to. But the revolving door at Snooty Towers made the bear dizzy, and being dizzy with wobbly legs was bad news. What the bear needed was a little rest. A little rest somewhere would definitely make things right. The bear peeked through a door and thought how very pleasant it was up here. "Not nasty and noisy like down there," said the bear. "Just the place for a little rest." All that whooshy traveling was certainly a hungry business, so before his little rest, a little porridge seemed like a good idea. "This porridge is too soggy." "It's not porridge. He's eating out of a fish bowl." "This porridge is too crunchy." "Look, he's eating out of the kitty food bowl." "This porridge is a bit on the dry side, but it's better than nothing." And I think he's eating toast. Now the bear was ready for his little rest. "This chair is too ouchy." "Oh, it's not a chair, it's a cactus." "This chair is too noisy." And again, it's not a chair, it's a cat. He sat on the cat. "This chair is just right." A little rest is nice, but what the bear needed to really feel like himself again was a good old-fashioned nap in a comfy bed. Looks like he's sleeping on a beanbag chair, or sitting on a beanbag chair. This bed is too frothy. And you can tell it's not a bed, it's a bathtub. This bed is too pink. Well, it is a bed this time. This bed is just right. And soon he nodded off. The bear dreamed of crunching through leaves. The bear dreamed of puttering around in his slippers. The bear dreamed of a voice shouting very, very loudly, "Somebody has been eating from my fish bowl," said the daddy person. Oh no, there's the dad looking into the fish bowl. "Somebody has been eating my dear little pumpkin's kitty nibbles," said the mommy person. And she's looking at the cat food bowl. "And somebody has been eating my toast," said the little person, "and they've eaten it all up." Unfortunately, the bear was not dreaming at all. He was wide awake and back in real life again. "Somebody has squished my cactus," said the daddy person. "Somebody has upset my dear little pumpkin," said the mommy person. "And somebody has popped my beanbag chair," said the little person. "Somebody has been sleeping in my bath," said the daddy person. "Somebody has been sleeping in my bed," said the mommy person. "Shh," whispered the little person. "I think that somebody is sleeping in my bed right now." The bear peeked from under the covers to see a daddy person, a mommy person, and a little person standing right there. The bear thought that the mommy person looked ever so slightly familiar. And the mommy person thought that gobbling other people's breakfasts, breaking other people's stuff, and snoozing in other people's beds seemed ever so slightly familiar too. And it was. "Baby bear," said the mommy person. "Goldilocks," said the bear. Oh my goodness. They hadn't seen each other in ages. "Porridge?" asked Goldilocks, and the bear nodded. So Goldilocks cooked up a big bowl and plunked it right in front of him. It was not too hot. It was not too cold. It was just right. It made the bear almost forget about that once upon a time when Goldilocks had behaved so badly. This little bear would never dream of doing anything like that. Did you find that the mommy person is actually Goldilocks all grown up? And when she was a kid and she went into the bear's house and did all those things, now the bear is come back to do that to Goldilocks. Oh my goodness. And although it had been good to see Goldilocks living so happily ever after with those charming people, the bear decided it was time to go back home to the woods. The end. That was such a fun story. So today we're going to make bear masks. Aren't they cute? What you'll need, just a couple simple items. A paper plate of any kind, just a brown paper plate. You'll need some brown paper to make the bear's ears. And if you don't have brown paper at home, you could just use white paper and then color it with a marker or paint. And a popsicle stick. So as you can see, I painted the paper plate with brown paint. And after it was dry, I cut out a hole in the middle. And then I took some brown paper and just kind of cut two shapes that I thought resembled ears. And then I did the exact same thing with a little bit of pink paper, just much smaller, and glued the pink right into the center of the brown ears. And then I attached the ears to the back of the paper plate. And after all of that was dry, I took a popsicle stick and just glued it right on to the back of the paper plate and made a fun little bear mask. And you can do that too. So I hope you guys enjoyed story time today. Starting today, you can pop in to the front lobby at the library and pick up your kids' craft bag. And in there will be all the supplies that you'll need to make a crafty snake. It's going to be a really cool project. So pop in anytime this week or next, get your craft bag, and then on next Wednesday, we'll see you guys for another video called Craft Kids, and that'll tell you how to make your project. All right, we'll see you guys then. Thanks for joining me.